Amie.
Zachary.
Avery.
Zachary.
Last week was Hate Week in Iowa. It's the lead up to the University of Iowa State game. And as a resident of Iowa City, obviously the game didn't go my way so much.
Clones, baby.
Boo. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get through this. But at least for me, it was broken up by a little bit of ruckus on Twitter. Sometimes we turn to the darndest things to make the low points of our day just a little higher. And so y'all know Democrat state auditor and Iowa governor candidate Rob Sand. We're familiar with him. He likes his breakfast pizza. Out of curiosity, what do you guys make of those posts? Here I am eating breakfast pizza in Piasta.
I mean, he was doing it in Piasta. That's near my hometown.
Oh. Shut up.
There you go.
Shout out. Hey, Piasta. I don't know. Yeah.
It's cool. It's like internet content.
Yeah, whatever. I'm a social
whatever.
media manager. I love content. I think that's good stuff.
Well, so Sand on Saturday morning ahead of the game was doing kind of this kumbaya. Let's come together, Cyclone and Hawkeye, link arms, come together, please, everybody. But meanwhile, over. Kind of. Meanwhile, over on Mount Crumpus, Iowa U.S. Representative Marionette Miller-Meeks got some notions. She tweeted, "I must not be a fake, sleazy politician like @Rob Sand because I stopped at Casey's this morning and got bacon breakfast pizza. But instead of posting a photo, I ate it."
Instead of posting a photo, she tweeted at Rob Sand for posting a photo and described how she went and bought a piece of pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just admit you forgot to post a photo.
Just admit that your staffer wasn't with you to take a photo and you don't know how to take a selfie because you're old as fuck.
She's going through her draft folder. Where is it?
My God.
So in general, right? Like I get it. The performative pizza of it all is like kind of annoying. It's annoying because I don't know about you, but I don't post a lot of food content. But like for someone like Miller-Meeks who makes kind of a career on social media of posting getting a photo of her in every stop that she can, at least when she can afford a staffer to do that work. Here she is in quote clowning around at the Tri-States Rodeo in Fort Madison, and here she is posing for a picture at the Keokuk Labor Day Parade. Miller-Meeks a big fan of labor. These are kind of the first two that I thought, but I think in general it's good for politicians to be performative, right? Politics is a performative art, right? We show this is representative democracy. It is like from its firmament kind of a symbolic process of people trying to aggregate the sense of like what is the right action for the people that they represent. And later in the episode, we'll talk about how one of our representatives is finding showing up to town halls to be too much of an effort. But while we're thinking about kind of performative social media posts, I did want to kind of go through some of the responses to Marionette Miller-Meeks.
Well, I also want to point out that last one, the Labor Day one. She's using PicStitch, or her staffer's using PicStitch. That's like a B-level editing app for 12-year-olds on Instagram in 2013. I used PixArt.
Go off, Queen.
I used PixArt for Twilight edits on my 13-year-old Instagram account with the Amarillo. If there's any millennials or Gen Zers listening to this podcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Why the fuck are you using PicStitch on your congressional? Again, it's not for elected officials in 2025. That's for 11-year-old fangirls on Pinterest in 2011.
Maybe that 11-year-old fangirl grew up and became a Miller-Meeks staffer.
See, no, she didn't. Because that 11-year-old girl grew up on Tumblr and is now queer and uses she/they pronouns.
Whoa,
he is not Marionette Miller-Meeks.
Horse girls for Miller-Meeks. That's a... Here's one from Scott Woobin saying, quote, "Instead of posting a picture, I posted about how I didn't post a picture." Classic.
Yes.
Love to see it.
Thank you, Scott Woobin. That is exactly...
Thank you, Woobin. Then Marco Battaglia, not the NFL tight end, but the former Libertarian candidate for governor, writing, you are fake and sleazy because you won't sign Thomas Massey's petition. What petition, you may ask? That is, of course, the petition to release the Epstein files. Battaglia is saying that maybe it's sleazier not to sign on to an effort to like hold pedophiles accountable. Something
sure.
Miller-Meeks and her Iowa colleagues have refused to participate in.
That would be good. That reminds me of Aaron Parnas in the comments of every like White House TikTok right now is saying like, "Good morning. Where are the files?" Like that were like, if you look in the comment section of the White House TikTok, it's like the top one is all Aaron Parnas, the internet big internet lib Aaron Parnas being like, there's one where he's like, "Good morning, it's Thursday morning. Where are the Epstein files?"
Still no files.
Yeah.
Bueller. Then this is Joseph, New York Times, which I'm sure is his Christian name. He tweeted a picture of U.S. Senator, is an older picture of U.S. Senator and Arkansas's loneliest giant, Tom Cotton. It's a picture of him holding a slice of pizza in front of the Casey's, and a picture of Miller-Meeks' response: "Breakfast pizza at its finest."
Yo, digital footprint. Miller-Meeks.
I love the earnestness. We
feel
all
like-
love performative pizza. We love to see it. It's part of the.
It's
part of the
engagement
thing.
farming. You're engagement farming. That's what you're doing. Like it's it's a relatable, like you post the case. Everybody in Iowa knows, we're known for our gas station pizza, and Casey's is the big one. So we're gonna post a picture out front of the Casey's because we're in Iowa, and that's a big Iowa thing. And like
it's VQ.
It's
VQ.
everybody's gonna like it. Like it's engagement farming. That's what they're doing. Like and that's okay. That's just PR.
But I'll tell you, as you spend longer, these sites will come to define you, and I always recommend staying off the internet. It's as we can see, things get a little personal.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal. Oh.
Welcome to Cornhole Champions, Iowa Starting Line's weekly podcast where we throw bags at the state's biggest stories. I'm Zachary Oren Smith. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today, how Iowa is getting left behind in federal health funding, why your congressman is leaving your texts unread, and the scramble for 2026 as more congressional seats come open. I'm joined today by Iowa Starting Line's newsletter editor, Amie Rivers, who's been busy running red string between ISU and pictures of Governor Kim Reynolds whispering the word interesting. Hello, Amie.
I don't know what that means, so I don't know how to respond.
Hello is fine.
Hi!
And I'm also joined by Avery Staker, who's been busy in the editing bay, splicing together footage of every one of Senator Chuck Grassley's birthdays. Hello, Avery. Did they have footage? Did they have video cameras in the Stone Age?
A lot of it is still in black and white, I will say, and silent because they did not have. Yeah.
Nice
technology wasn't there.
A good piano backing track for some of those Depression era
some Charlie
flicks.
Chaplin type shit. Yeah.
First story, like most things these days, the impact of government cuts is happening along partisan lines, but not in the way you might expect. You'll remember President Donald Trump slashed $11 billion in CDC grants earlier this year. Blue states sued over the funding. Red states like Iowa did not. Now, blue states that sued kept most of their funding, while the red states that didn't fight back lost the bulk of theirs. This is from a new analysis from KFF Health News. Through the hotspot, Iowa Starting Line's cancer investigation, we've seen a little bit about this. Amie, you wrote that story about federal dollars for cancer research being impacted by federal cuts. What did you learn about that?
Yeah, I mean, just that any cut, any delay in cuts, even if they ultimately get them back, is just stopping that pipeline of drugs coming through. So, I mean, if you've got a drug that's about to get into a clinical trial, that clinical trial is stopped, restarting that clinical trial will have to mean like bringing a whole bunch of patients back in that might not need that drug or, have already passed on, So like even just that simple thing. And then if you stop the funding to the labs, then you're stopping the student researchers from coming in. So you're stopping a whole new pipeline, a new generation of student researchers. So even a delay, even if it's ultimately overturned, very bad.
Yeah. And just to get a sense of the scale of this, we're talking about 700 CDC grants worth $11 billion canceled in March. These weren't just COVID funds. They supported infectious disease preventions, mental health services, community health workers, disease outreach detections systems. I mean, this was like kind of funded a lot of infrastructure for our public health system in the United States. Amie, you wrote a little bit about this in your newsletter also. How did some of the states get the funding back? What did that look like?
It was simple. They sued. I mean, they literally just sued. So not only did blue state attorneys general sue for the money back and get it, some granting organizations also individually sued. And actually there was not specifically related to what you're talking about, the healthcare grants, but the Burr Oak Land Trust in Des Moines actually got their funding back after suing. No thanks to our attorney general, of course, who didn't think that it was a problem that we were losing all this money.
And you're saying licking the boots of the federal government didn't help us in the long run.
Did not help us in the long run. Amazing own goal that we just decided, I guess we don't need the money.
What a strange thing. I'm reading here in the KFF Health News story. In blue states, nearly 80% of the CDC grant cuts have been restored compared to fewer than 5% in red states. So that's 80% in blue states versus 5% in red states. Just to give you a sense of what this looked like right here in Iowa, there were 12 of these grants that were targeted for termination back in March. All 12 of Iowa's grants through this program were terminated in the end. Looking kind of at the bigger picture here and taking it together with Medicaid cuts, these reductions amount to a major shift in how state health programs are provided and paid for. The administration is, in effect, pushing a significant amount of health costs to the states that will force their leaders to make difficult choices, as many state budgets are already strained by declining tax revenues, a story we're familiar with here, a slowdown in federal pandemic spending, and economic uncertainty. I mean, like, this is Iowa's had to bail itself out of deficit via deficit spending this past year, right? This is a trend that's expected to continue as we are trying to right our ship in reaction to changes in our tax revenue based on the kind of flat tax on income that we recently implemented. Another thing, it's a point I've made before, but one that I think is always worth making when we're talking about cuts to science funding. You can't, it seems like it on a spreadsheet, but you can't actually just turn on and turn off a lab, right? It's not a light switch. We're talking about people that are highly skilled people who work in these positions. We're talking about a lot of equipment, right? That has to be maintained over time, that we have to acquire over time. You're talking about lab samples. There's just a lot of infrastructure. There's a lot of things that are involved in the kind of this R&D process. If you drill down into this, right, it seems a lot more, it seems like it's something that we can just unplug and plug back in, but it's never that simple. And I just think that's a really important thing for us to think about.
How does it feel to be winning so much? Are you tired of it?
I'm pretty tired of winning. Winning hasn't made my gas any cheaper or my groceries hurt any less each week.
Owning the libs didn't do any of that for you?
I feel like I've been owned. I feel like this. I feel summarily owned based on.
I feel very owned.
Yeah.
But everybody else does too. Yeah.
Well,
crabs in a bucket.
Totally right. And like, I mean, if you think about it, like this kind of surveillance, the public health surveillance, things like detecting measles on a broader level, mental health services. I don't think Iowans, red states, rural states are any less deserving of having this funding in place. But as it turns out, it's only going to blue states that have leadership that are willing to push back against the federal government that would claw these dollars back. Those federal dollars create jobs here. They help us do the work of making a healthier country. But as that Kaiser Family Foundation analysis showed, when the leadership we vote to serve statewide doesn't push back against their peers in the White House, it's Iowans that will lose out. And with that, let's take a break.